got some questions from our viewers that you very generously said you will answer if you can.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth.
This one's from Molly. She says, how many hats do you have? And then Scott says, do you have a favourite?
I've probably got about 300.
Whoa!
But they sort of get given to charities. Everybody always wants a hat, so they do go on to, you know,
they
other
live
lives.
somewhere else.
But yeah, they're everywhere in my house, in food cupboards, under the beds. You know, there's ones that are battered and squashed and think, oh, I can't throw it away. I'm going to try and get it fixed.
Is there any that you would never let go of?
There's a couple. Yeah. There's a few that were painted by a friend of mine called Trademark as an artist, and I just, you know, they're battered, they're ruined, covered in makeup, but I just will never let go.
I just think they've all got stories.
Yes, of course.
Catherine says, I feel like I won the lottery, but what's your favourite song?
That's a good one, you know. Because I write so much, it's always the next thing. I'm always interested in what I'm going to come up with, and I do listen to everything. You know, I mean, in the old days I wouldn't, but now I let everything influence me.
Is there a song, not necessarily that you haven't written, that you wish you had?
Oh, loads.
Oh, yeah.
Anything number one. Anything that gets to number one. Wish I'd written that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I love good songs. That's it. You know, I don't necessarily get obsessed with artists like I used to with Bowie and stuff, but good songwriting is just an obsession.
Still exciting. John says, is there an artist you'd love to duet with, but you haven't had the chance?
I've actually just done a duet with this kid I met on TikTok who's a Tyler called Joe Connorboy, and it's absolutely beautiful, and I'm sort of saving it for the right moment. Wow. It's a song called Trust. I wrote.
So his business is tiling?
He's a tiler.
Just has an amazing...
You know, I like the fact that he's got a job.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you know, you've got your options open, but we met on TikTok.
He wasn't doing your bathroom up or something?
No, I wish I'd known him because he's really good. But actually, I've done this song with him called Trust, and he's got the most beautiful voice.
Oh, wow.
What an amazing way of artists finding artists, too.
Well, that's the great thing about the internet.
Yeah.
You end up doing these insane things. I mean, Paris Savette, who I've just worked with, I only met her 2 days ago. She made this record, and we just met 2 days ago because you do everything virtual now. It's amazing.
Yeah. This next one is from Corbin. He says, where is your go-to happy place?
Probably painting, or creating in general. I love being in the studio. I love the writing process. You know, I love just kind of trying things out and seeing what's possible. But yeah, art, definitely I'll go to my studio late at night and just spend hours there on my own. And
that's always been a massive influence for you. When I was looking at the research and stuff, there was this amazing picture of you sitting around a table with Andy Warhol. I think Rupert Everett was in the picture. Was he in the picture?
Yeah, Bianca Jagger was there.
Bianca Jagger, Quentin Crisp. It was like this... It was the most...
Dinner party.
Do you remember anything about that?
I do. I remember wearing sunglasses. What? Because, you know, when I see anyone in sunglasses at a dinner or a TV, I think, what are you hiding, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I felt like I was a bit... Again, that was sort of during the period where I was a bit uptight.
Yeah.
And obviously, looking back, I'm like, I mean, I hung out with Andy Warhol a lot, you know, but it was so mad because, you know, when you're young, you're so blasé. It's like, Andy Warhol.
Yeah, arrogance of you.
Now, totally go,
no,
Andy Warhol, you know.
But he used to say the same of you. He's hanging out with Boy George. That was exciting. Michelle says, who inspires you the most, George?
Everyone inspires me. I feel like, as I say, when I was younger, I was much more like desperate to sort of think I was original. But I think when you get older, you realise that actually everything already exists, and it's only really your perspective on things that you're ever gonna, you know, create. And I think we're at a time in history where, like, everything's sort of been done, so it's a good time to start again. So I definitely sort of listen to a lot of the things I listened to when I was a kid, and think about, you know, why I started writing, which is great doing this whole, you know, rewrites of the first album, because it's like, where was my head?
Yeah, and how do you reframe it now?
And, you know, and it sort of shows you how much you kind of moved on, but also there's the sort of beauty to that stuff that you just couldn't fake now. It's like what we felt at the time. You know?
Moment in time. This next one is from Pat. She says, do you have any regrets?
I haven't got a bag big enough for my regrets. I think having regrets is pointless, but it's also good to sort of be able to look at things you've done wrong and say, I need to learn from that. You know what I mean? I think, you know, as we talked about earlier, like getting wiser is a choice. It doesn't happen by accident. There's lots of old fools in the world, and I don't really want to be one. So I definitely try to work on my myself, my behaviour, I think I'm a much happier person than I was 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And one last one, Zach says, what was it like touring with Rod Stewart? Was there any mischief caused?
Rod's a rascal.
Oh, he is.
1,000%.
Love him. He walked
That's
into
all that
the...
needs to be said.
Yeah.
Simple, leave it there.
And obviously, you know, for me, I saw him when I was 14, Rod Stewart in the Faces at Lewisham Odeon. So
Did you?
I've been a long-time fan. You know, I remember listening to, you know, him as a kid and just thinking what an amazing voice he has. Still has. an
Still
amazing voice.
has.
And he's always had the outfits too.
And
He's
you know, he
the
played
whole
around
thing.
with gender roles a little bit. He was wearing makeup and satin. Rod's definitely, you know, a cool guy. I think but he's a rascal.
One last question. This is from Ben in London. Will you come on Tipping Point Lucky Stars and take on the machine?
I'll get sent home straight away. That's the only thing I don't like about the show is the fact that people get sent home. I think you should
Doesn't
have
like that.
a thing.
Doesn't
no,
like that.
you should be able
It's
to
his
come
favourite
back.
show, by the way.
You should have to come back. You should be able to fight your way back. There should be something.
really?
Because sending people home, it's like disappointing. You should give them a chance to be the comeback
Right.
kid.
But
Let's start a
equally,
petition.
it makes winning all the more exciting if you've had to battle through and you could have... It's precarious along the way, George.
But
It's like
that
life.
machine is a little bit evil. You could be the smartest person in the world and
You know.
still just be unlucky. You
Evil
know,
mistress,
when it
cruel
shelves.
mistress. Thank
Thanks,
you, George.
Thank
Lovely
you.
to see you.
You can do this. You can do this. Let me help you get through